Okay, so I fell into a noob trap that I don't want any of you guys to fall into, and I'm glad that I figured out now. Before we get into it, if you enjoy this video or any of the ones you might have seen here in the past, please consider subscribing. It really does help me out, and I want to hit 5,000 before the end of the year. With that said, let's get into the issue at hand. So usually when you pick up a new game or you pick up a new character, you learn two combos, right? You learn your bread and butter, maybe your mid-screen combo, and then you want to learn one in the corner, right? Because sometimes certain things don't work. For example, my mid-screen combo uses this. So I switch sides, and then I do like the fireball thing, and it picks her up. But if I do that in the corner, she stays on the same side. So the combo changes a little bit. This is why a lot of the times you have to learn your mid-screen B&B and your corner one. However, what's as equally important, equally if not more important, is learning what these combos start off of. So you've seen me every time I've done the combo, I've started off of like 3 2As or like at least 2 2As. And then I do the 2C to like get her off of her feet so I can juggle her with the 6C. The 6C is this one here. Yeah, 6C. So I can juggle her with that and then, you know, complete the combo. But what you've probably seen when you see me play, if you guys checked out the stream the other day, I think it was last night, I streamed for a little bit. I played this game against some of my viewers. I fished for this a lot. And I realized it after watching some of the replays. I'm only fishing for this. So my opponent is only looking for this. They're just blocking this, and then I'm getting blown up. So I started like mid-set. I started implementing this a little more. Not really this too much. This is more like a combo tool. But more of this, right? So then it goes from a layer 1 where they're just looking for this on wake up to the overhead. And then I started doing some throws. But then I was watching LK today, right? I was watching Lord Knight play. He also plays Red Arcoade. And I noticed that he was starting combos off of other buttons that I had completely neglected. And what I started to understand is that I had fell into the same noob trap I fell into when I was playing Street Fighter V, and I was trying to get back into it with Karen, which is my main character. I was only using her crouch medium kick. Her crouch medium kick is really good to hit confirm, and it's pretty far. You can confirm pretty far away with it, and it catches people low a lot. So what I was doing is I was just walking up and doing this, and then walking back and doing this. I was using one button effectively to try and beat my opponent. And that's the same exact thing that I'm doing now. I'm literally just doing this. I'm doing like run up, this. When I have other great buttons, right? I have this button, crouching version's great, right? And then I have this button too. This is a button that I really saw LK using a lot more than I'd ever thought. And the reason why you can't just rely on this is because one, the opponent's going to look for it, right? They're going to look for you running up to this range because you can see the effective range of this is not that far. So you're going to run up, you're going to press your 2As, and they're going to say, all right, I blocked the 3 2As. It's my turn now. Or they'll wait for you to do like the 2C, and then they'll say, okay, it's my turn now. So what I realized is that I need to start using my other buttons, I guess. You know, the game doesn't have that many buttons compared to like Street Fighter or I guess Tekken too. Tekken has 4 buttons. This game has 3 with the shield option. But what I need to be doing is using my buttons at the appropriate ranges instead of like being right here and just mashing this and hoping they walk into it. Or like running up a little bit to go into this. I can just start a combo from this. I don't need to always start from here. So once I realized that, I wanted to see what buttons went into this, because this is effectively the combo starter, right? It was like a misconception that I had that this is my combo starter. This is not. This is like part of my block string. This is the real combo starter when they get swept off their feet because you can pick them up and juggle them. So like I said, what I did was start pressing other buttons and see if they chain into this one. So like 5A can chain into it. But one of the most important ones is this one. The timing feels a little tight. Like you have to be ready to go into this as soon as this one ends or they'll just block it. But this is really effective. You can get a lot of damage too, especially in the corner or even mid-screen, right? And the reason why I'm looking for buttons that go into this is because I know how to combo off of 2C pretty well, like pretty consistently at this point. Also, a lot of her combos, it feels like a lot of her high damage ones at least start off of this. There are some other ones like this one, you know, the auto combo and everything like that. But this one seems to be like the main combo starter that I understand the best. And a lot of her normals chain into it. So like 5A, for example, 5B, and then even 5C into 2C works, you know. And then the ground buttons, like we know, 2A, and then we have, sorry, I didn't chain, 2A, and then we have 2B, and then 2C, right? If you hold it, right, if you do 2C, 2C, you can chain into this in the corner, and you actually get a pretty decent combo off of that. something like that. And that's another example of what we talked about in the previous video, where the auto combos slowly becomes more of a tool rather than something that you rely on. Some other things I've been working on besides combos is just general movement again, like trying not to double jump all the time. You know, if you watch Lord Knight, you might have seen he made a video sort of talking about the neutral and where to stand at. So he said he usually stands somewhere back here, right? He's staying out of their air dash range, out of most of their range, and waiting for them to approach or to see whether he needs to approach. So that's what I've been trying to do. And as well as staying as low to the ground as possible, right? That's another thing that he said. Because once you're up here, you're pretty vulnerable, which is something I did not think about, right? You're pretty vulnerable when you're coming down from here, because you can block, but you can't block grounded moves, right? They're air unblockable moves. So if your opponent's on the ground and they catch you, you know, floating down, you're going to get hit. Or maybe they just air dash at you because you've already used all of your air movement, right? So you can't, once you've already done that, you can't like jump again, right? You don't have a triple jump, but you could air dash. Also, trying to use this air movement to get around projectiles. That's another big thing that I think I have not been using, right? I've been relying a lot on the shield to get around projectiles, but eventually people are just going to throw, like CL, for example, she'll throw a needle, you'll shield it, and then maybe press B so you end up behind her, the vanish, and then they can just react to it. You know, they can react to it with a shield, or they can react to it with an attack like a 3C or something. So it's not a safe option to use all the time. So I've been trying to like maybe jump around a little bit, use my air dash a little bit better. Maybe using this like a dive kick sort of, if you ever played Street Fighter. You know how Cammy can like dive kick over projectiles? That's kind of like the idea that I had with this. Or not that one specifically because you kind of come down with it, but mostly this one. Because you see how you can kind of hang on the air? You kind of hang right here. And then if this one hits, you can just add another one in. So yeah, a lot of movement-based stuff, a lot of trying to learn neutral. Neutral, very ambiguous concept in most games. In this game, it is as equally hard as any other, right? But it feels especially foreign to me coming from a lot of games that are more ground-based, more ground-based in the sense that you are deterred from jumping this much. Like this is not something that I'm used to being able to jump around like this and not be punished too heavily for it, unless I like press a button and then I get fatal countered. But just jumping around like this and getting used to being so proactive and neutral is foreign to me, and it's taking a lot of getting used to. Like I said, if you follow me on Twitter, you probably see me tweet like a few times that I'm very like bad at this game. Like I lose to majority of the people that I run into in like the player lobbies and stuff. And some people that I'm used to beating, right, like some of my friends, are like taking games off of me because I just can't wrap my head around certain concepts that I need to in order to be successful. But don't get me wrong, winning obviously doesn't deter me too much because it is player match, everybody's new to the game, and like you kind of have to throw that ego away if you want to get better. It's just kind of demoralizing sometimes, you know, just playing against a person and just not learning very much because something isn't clicking, right? That's all I can describe it as, is something hasn't been clicking with me in this game so far as like neutral and movement go, and like trying to get in on my opponent. But hopefully what we talked about today can help that. You know, using the rest of my buttons can help that.